throughout my life, I've been through so much. I've been raped, I've been through homelessness, domestic violence, and police brutality in my lifetime here. And the racism here has been the point where it makes me cry. Doing this, I'm speaking out because no one does not understand how a person with words, actions could hurt somebody out there. I'm coming to you as a survivor, as a speaker, to be advocate, to help those encourage while doing this. My first experience with police brutality, I was walking downtown, and we were walking by a second street down, just not too far from here, and there's a smoke shop. And I noticed some white lady saying, I'm sick of these Navajos, they're making a mess here in the community, the trash. She was talking to an intoxicated person walking by, but she was so loud where I thought it was coming towards us, and I ended up getting mad and saying, "What are you talking about?" She ended up cussing at us, and she said she would kill us. And she said she had a gun in her bag in her car, and the owner from the smoke shop was from a different country, I think Arabic or something, and he told us to leave her alone. But we were defending that intoxicated person walking by, and the security guard told us to leave, and cops were called on us just because we were standing up against our relative that was walking by. And that day, that has really turned my soul, because, you know, we're somebody. I'm a human being with rights too, but just being treated like that on the street, it just disgusts me. And being Indigenous also it should not be portrayed, especially on the streets like that. The racism, some people I see look at me with disgust. And, you know, the owners of the motel where I used to stay told me on the phone, the city council's wife, her name is Patricia, told me on the phone, "I'll never amount to anything. You're just a native. No one will care about you. You're not going to matter what your lifetime is. You don't know, you're stupid." All kinds of stuff anybody would say. And she said those words to me. I had this literally listen to her, but I told her out of respect, I don't want to listen to you. I'm having respect towards you, and you shouldn't be talking like that to me. You know, I matter just as much as you do. My other experience is homelessness here in Gallup also. It was rough. How I got through that was getting an argument with my mom, and she told me she kicked me out. I ended up taking my bags out, and I didn't know where to go. I was crying. I was crying in a park. And I didn't know where to go, and I happened to look over across the ditch or and I saw NCI. And I figured, well, they accept homeless people. They have nowhere to go. So I carried my big duffel bag, like a backpack, and walked myself in there. And from that day, I began, what do I do? You know, I'm not intoxicated. I have nowhere to go. So I ended up trying to survive ever since. But in a way, I think it was God's plan for me to go through that for a reason, because I would not be experiencing the stuff that I seen and actually been, experiencing what they go through in there. And happening to see people get DTs, the coworkers laughing, and people in cages after they get picked up, and getting crossed over to the nurse's side, with medical, and going to groups, 2 groups a day, and just not really helping them in that situation. It's really tough. I had to sell ramen noodles and coffee just to get by because I was being released. Well, people that were that had nowhere to go had to be released about close to 7 o'clock, so we had to leave. And I didn't know what to do when I had money, so I would go to McDonald's and try to eat something. I would panhandle by Albertsons. And I told people I don't drink, I don't do drugs, and literally the judgment would already automatically, come down. They would see how I was dressed. You could just tell. And it was very hard. Throughout my lifetime, I've been in the wrong relationships and domestic violence. I survived that by, sorry, it's very hard. I was told I was not good enough. I was told that I would never matter anymore because of, the verbal abuse. The physical abuse came later. It's not good getting into a relationship that way, thinking it's they love you, but they don't. And the fact that I'm still here is a miracle. I was once strangled to death, and blood was coming out of my mouth, and I had to gasp for air to the restroom. I had to call the ambulance, and they checked me, and everything was okay. I got hit in the face and I got kicked and spit on when I was working. And my abuser was so harsh towards me. And through the domestic violence, that I never experienced that severe. It was just really intensive. And the fact that I'm standing here not a victim, but a survivor. I stand here that anybody going through this should get the right education, the right advocates, and there needs to be more shelters, more sources out there for women, because nobody should not be going through that in anything. And the laws are not strict. The crimes and the fact that these people that are getting hurt by their boyfriends or husbands, the law is not doing anything. It's a slap on the wrist. They're out the next day. Even it's called a battery on a household member. And the fact that in the background of these, there's alcoholism involved, there's drugs involved, and there's a lot of things taking down our people, which that is happening here.